I gave myself 10 days to become the fastest speedrunner in a game nobody even plays anymore. If you ever catch me using Mr. Beast subtitles unironically, please unsubscribe. Okay, let's be honest. I think it would be kind of insulting to assume that I could be the best at anything in only 10 days. But based on my knowledge of the game, I think I can get close. What's the game we're running? Unless you've been going audio only on this one, we're playing Mario Party for the N64. I've done a little research and I found a time which I think is within my reach. Mario? What are you doing? Let's get into what's going on in this run. Mario Party has a single-player mode called Minigame Island that has you playing through all the minigames present in Party Mode. These minigames are divided into 9 worlds, which brings us to the category we'll be running under. You see, at the end of World 2, there's a fork in the road. You go right, you continue to World 3, and then 4. You go up, you continue to World 5. Getting to the end of either of these paths brings you to World 6, meaning that not every minigame needs to be played in order to complete the game mode. You can beat them all if you want, but that would have you running under the 100% category. I'm not doing that, which classifies this run as an any percent. Now, I've been studying these ciphers recently, and from what I can tell, this is more than this. And given that this is a speed run, I should go for the route that has me playing less minigames, right? Sure! If you also enjoy losing your life savings in front of a slot machine, do you enjoy that? RNG! Random number generator. It comes into play a lot through World 5, and it's worth playing a few extra minigames to avoid the headache. So all in all, we're going to be playing 42 out of the 50 total minigames. Am I going to highlight every minigame I play? Do you know how long this video would be? I'll be explaining some minigames if they affect a run enough, but the rest I'll mostly be glazing over. The current world record for this category is at 36:09 held by Gerbies. I'm very familiar with Mario Party, and after looking through the leaderboards, I think a good goal for myself is to get faster than a 41:19. Day 1 went, oh, I missed a split. Oh, I missed a couple splits. Oh, shit. How? Bro. Oh, boy! A lot better than expected, to be honest. Aside from missing my very first split, World 1 came and went without a hitch. And even though I was feeling good, Luigi might not have been in a similar headspace. No. Moving on from there are a couple team minigames that are followed by one that was a regular hurdle through the course of my time with Mario Party. I'll give you one guess on how to win. So here's the thing. This minigame shouldn't be hard, but something that I've discovered about myself is that if I'm speedrunning something, I'm an impatient little child. You can beat Ghost Guess in single-digit seconds if you guess ghosts, but I wasn't doing that, was I? My eyes deceive me, I lose time, I forget to do another split. God, streaming sucks. I don't want this video to just be a log of me losing constantly, but it's funny that it happened a second time. Some gambling buffoonery and abduction ensues before making it to the maze. I only lost once, it's just a little maze. Past this is a game called Bowl Over, and aside from the extremely questionable humanitarian and animal welfare issues present, it's a lighthearted one. Just don't miss. Stop standing there! A few of our easier minigames are up next, both of which honestly should never be lost even if you're only paying half attention. After is Running of the Bulb. Before I started running, I watched a video that I'll leave in the description that shows possible time saves for all the minigames, and this one actually had some cool tech. And by cool tech, I mean literal homicide. Honestly, through all my runs, I was never able to perform the tech properly, which makes it so that all the boos that normally spawn everywhere on the map just spawn inside of each other, and you don't have to worry about your teammates getting in the way, because sometimes you just want to play the single-player game mode without someone fucking it up for you, Mario! Honestly, from this point, the run went pretty smoothly. I keep awayed, I bashed for cash, and hey listen, you know I grabbed bag. It wasn't until Shell Game, which is just real-life Shell Game, that I had a big mess up, and it was only because I blinked. I was gonna rotoscope taping my eyes open as a bit, but with 3 more minigames out of the way though, I wrapped up my first run, which ended at a 45:40. Oh, hit by the log! Ah! I lost 50 seconds? Yo, is speedrunning demoralizing? So yeah. Despite getting through some of the minigames faster than I had previously, a good chunk of the beginning of the run was spent in the red. And that's a bad thing. Another lost Ghost Guess and a Box Mountain Mayhem kept me down until I did the unthinkable. Alright, hopefully I can get this first try. Sometimes you write a cringe line and only realize in a retrospect. The line that was supposed to be here was just was stupid, and you can't just like cut it out and pretend like it never happened. Sorry for the musical number, basically. I'm sorry. I soon made my way over to the friendly maze. No complaints here. We're over 2 minutes in the green, and stayed that way and then some, depending on the split you ask. Listen, if you can forget to take that steak off the heat, I can forget a split or two. But past that, the run went great, and I had a new best time of 42:42. Feeling excited, I wanted to jump into another run, but my N64 really didn't. Little guy was feeling kinda toasty and wouldn't load my cartridge. And like that steak of yours, there's only one thing to do. Throw it in the freezer, try again tomorrow. I've got good news and bad news. The good news is that day 2 was my worst day of running Mario Party, so we ripped that bandage off nice and early. The bad news is... oh my gosh. This run is trash. I'm cutting it so close. No! My face when Luigi go, ow! It took some skin with it. The first run of the day mainly started off with small blunders. I wasn't really paying attention to what I was doing during ground pound, but I made some time back up until I got to handcar havoc and Mario and Luigi fell off the rails. Sorry boys, that one's my bad. You can see how that one went. Oh, please gather round. I'll tell you a little story. In elementary school, I was on our school's basketball team one year. In one of our games, the ball was in the hands of one of our players who hadn't yet hit puberty and made it near the basket, only to be guarded by an opposing player who, presumably had, and the height differential was brutal. Knowing that any attempt to shoot would cause the ball to be hurled back into his face, our player took advantage of this situation by dropping to the ground and crawling between the player's legs. This memory still lives rent-free in my head. But notice it doesn't involve me at all. It's because I sucked. I never got the ball. I lost bomb skip ball 2 times in a row. The rest of the run from this point on wasn't looking great. I made up some pretty substantial time with a hot rope jump gold split, but got lost in the maze, didn't take good enough care of the bulb, and like Luigi kept bombing his sleight of hand checks, the -3 doesn't help. We ended this run with a 47-24. Not where we want to be, but given it's only the 3rd run, I cut myself some slack and continued on to run 4, going at a solid pace. I ended Crazy Cutter a minute in the green, but unfortunately the monarchy took the momentum away from me and buried treasure. I think it was Bordiga that said, "The big dog is always stealing treasure from the little man." I still managed to stay green for a long while, but another big fall on Handcar Havoc and Ghost Guest going, predictably, took the run to a bad place for a little, until I saved over a minute on Tipsy Turny. The run stayed in good shape for a long while again, but due to my inability to pickpocket and count, the second run of the day ended with a 43-49. Still not great, but better than the last, so we have some forward momentum going. Right? Right? Run 3 wasn't that bad. The front half went pretty well, and my usual hurdles weren't setting me back that far, but after 2 slow runs, I was getting impatient. Arriving at hot rope jump, I was so far in my head that I lost again, and again, and again, and that was actually it. But a juicy 3 minutes in the red does not sound like speed to me. Pair that with Pipe Maze not cooperating with me and my impatient ass throwing bowl over, and you get a 46-36 at the end of it. But wait, there's more. Run 4. It was so good. So good. But then we circled our way to Pipe Maze, came in 2 minutes and 10 seconds green, and left 57 seconds red! See, this minigame is very funny because it's incredibly simple. You put a chest into one of 4 pipes and it follows a path and ends up hopefully to you. And it's not even fully random either. You get a glimpse of the path before you choose, but here's what Hudson Soft thinks you see versus what you actually see.
My body has been taken over by an evil spirit.
That plus a double running of the bulb lost, balloon burst lost somehow, and a facelift lost somehow, we end up with a 47-11, and a day of speedrunning I never want to think about again. Now day 3, on the other hand, if day 2 was like a container of store-bought strawberries, day 3 was probably also like a container of store-bought strawberries. You can't make an analogy with something that literally has the power to sustain your physical existence with a video game from 1999. This run was everything I wanted it to be and more. I started off strong with a gold split in Coin Block Blitz, another thanks to some good RNG and Memory Match, and another in Piranha's Pursuit because I decided to pay attention a little harder. I was coming out of World 1 and 2 over a minute in the green. In World 3, I was able to snipe the buried treasure, and despite seeming a little stiff today, you know I was rotating on Tug of War like no other. It's a labor of love. World 4, holding a lot of the minigames based around going fast, went by fast. Ghost Guess even gave me little trouble, and I was out of World 4 saving an extra 30 seconds. World 6 started off amazingly, getting nearly an extra minute in the green, but a couple losses on Tipsy Turny took some of that away from me. I got Hot Rope Jump first try though, so these arse cheeks are looking good going into World 7. Why'd I write arse? I had a big crane game loss to kick things off, and Pipe Maze, that stupid little fucking maze, only took 46 seconds off of me. The rest of World 7 is baby mode, and World 8 was so consistent. Mostly because most of the minigames have a set duration, but you can't argue with those numbers. And finally, World 9. Solid Hammer Drop RNG, solid Shell Game RNG, Knock Block Tower, and Platform Peril can each lick one of those little Luigis, you feel me? And it all accumulates to a Slot Car Derby race against the little man himself. Luigi, coming around the corner, and there it is! I didn't think it would happen so soon, but on my third day of running Mario Party, I had beaten my target time by 15 seconds. This was a great feeling, don't get me wrong, but I hadn't exactly prepared for this outcome. Alright, well... Do I keep streaming? Do I keep running? I gave myself 10 days. I might as well do something. We started off with the first game in the series, but now I think we're gonna jump far ahead to the most recent entry, Mario Party Superstars. It has a lot of shared elements from the game that we're supposed to be talking about, so it feels appropriate enough. For Superstars, we're gonna be running under the All Boards Easy category. It's exactly what it sounds like. You play all 5 boards present in the game with the CPUs set to easy. Each board is thankfully played on the minimum turn count that Superstars has to offer. Am I going to highlight every turn? Do you know how long this video would be? Other rules like board order and bonus stars are completely up to player choice, and I am absolutely keeping bonus stars on because I feel confident in beating the CPUs for those, but not as confident in one of them calling Sniffet Patrol on me and intercepting a star. Fuck 12, am I right? The current world record for this category is a 2:14:38 by Ukraine? Ukraine? And looking at the leaderboards, I'd just be happy to get faster than a 2:42:39. I decided that Peach's birthday cake was where I wanted to start the run, and honestly, not a lot happened. Despite rolling crazy low through the course of this board, I kept a pretty good lead on coins for the first half, until I bought a large Piranha Plant seed on turn 5 of 10 because, I don't know if you can tell through this rugged exterior, but that brain in there is as smooth as... an ashtray. After that, some of the opposition were stocking up on stars, and I was starting to sweat. I got one of my own and landed on the same space as Rosalina, and trying to solidify my win, I bet all the coins I could on our battle minigame, and I lost. Thankfully, due to the number of minigames I had already won, it wasn't an issue, and we got to win one more for free by the end of it, thanks to Donkey Kong having... more of an apple textured brain. But after all the bonus stars were handed out, our time with the cake had ended and we moved on to the land of milk and money, bro. The coin economy on this board was really gross. I'm talking considerable wage gaps between the Sarasaland monarchy and like what, the space monarchy? Are you gonna tell me you own all of space? Horrorland went well in the end, but man, the CPUs were fighting back this time. DK got a star pretty early on, and I was feeling mostly confident on coins until Waluigi won a battle minigame against Rosalina, couldn't be me, and started weaseling his way in for coin star. She then got a golden pipe and a chomp call. Waluigi is loaded with 1-2, and to feel confident in this win, I got a roll of 5. Block, please. A what? This is where nihilism begins, I think. Thankfully, there was a clutch versus minigame that all but solidified the coin and minigame star for me, and with the last few turns being a lot kinder to me, Horrorland was over and Woody Woods was up next. I took notes of all my runs to have a reference point on what I could talk about, and these were the only things I had acknowledged. I hate this minigame so much. It's gonna suck with computers. I can't even get this to work with human people. Okay, never mind. Me and Rosa kind of cracked. That's so huge. Oh,
call me Austin Matthews. Oh!
We won Woody Woods. The CPUs kept the heat coming on Yoshi's Tropical Island. I started off with a big lead off of Hammer Drop on the second turn, and even by the end of the fourth, it was looking pretty free. But after everyone gained a lot of coins playing Quicksand Cash, Sarasa Land's chokehold on the economy was slipping, DK got a gold pipe and stole the lead, and I had lost a star of my own, and now I'm sweating. A quick battle minigame with Waluigi lands several coins into my pocket, glory to Sarasa Land, but if DK gets another star by the end of the game or gets the event bonus star, this 2+ hour run is effectively down the drain. That didn't happen though. No stars were got on those last turns, and I clutched out all 3 bonus stars. Glory to Sarasa Land! Thankfully, after that, Space Land was really plain. Like, literally nothing of note. This was the most milquetoast 10 turns of Mario Party I've ever played, and I don't feel like wasting your time. The run ended with a 2:43.25, less than a minute behind our goal. Today's run started out with one of my least favorite minigames, Bill Blasters, which went on for over a minute. And I'll be the hot take Jake over here, but if a minigame takes longer than a minute, it's a bad minigame in my books. There's nothing satisfying about spinning in circles like this thinking, oh boy, I hope the bullet meets its target this time. I'll hit it this time for sure. Peach's birthday cake ended 1 minute and 12 seconds behind where we were the day prior, but we pulled out all the stops in Horror Land.
I'm just gonna go rock the whole time. We stay rock main. Alright, well, GG's, I guess. That's not good. Listen.
You just hate me because I'm rich. At least I won. Woody Woods! I don't know how to talk about this shit, man. I just had a really good game of Mario Party. Nothing interesting happened. Wario could have gotten a star, but he didn't, and then I did. I needed a 24 to get another star, and I rolled a 25. Everyone got a bonus star and a toothbrush, which is always a weird gift to receive, but like, I'll use it eventually, I guess, so thanks. In the next board, I ran into an obstacle that I thought would kill the run. My fat fucking fingers. Listen, I was busting it down all over the competition. So when Luigi made his way over to the Boo on this board, he targets me. I grip my Joy-Con to start my defense, and my switch turns off. It turns out that without noticing, upon prepping to mash against the Boo, I put my left thumb over the home button, bringing up the quick menu, and started mashing with my right thumb, confirming that it was nighty-night time. I was pretty worried that this would invalidate the run, but it got verified, so to the mod that probably only checked the time around the splits on this run, thank you for your time. That screenshot spoiled it a little, but the rest of the run went just swimmingly. Yoshi's Tropical Island harbored so much time saved from the last run, even with the sleep mode fumble, I still came out of it 1 minute and 48 seconds in the green. And Hammer Drop coming on at all in a run like this pretty much guarantees a board win, finishing off my second run in Spaceland with a 2:42.33. Beating my target time again was not something I'd really anticipated. I kind of thought that because the runs would be longer and I'd get fewer in, it would take me the rest of the 10 days to get here. So, because of my incredible performance thus far, I needed to think quickly on what I could do for the remainder of my time. The night I finished Mario Party Superstars, I scoured speedrun.com to find another Mario Party game that had a significant number of runners and decided that next I would play Mario Party 5. The caveat? I don't own this game. Could I have emulated it? Sure, but runs are categorized by the hardware you run the game on, and the emulation side of this community has as many runners as there were kids in my elementary school graduating class, and getting a faster time in Mario Party 5 than Malcolm just wouldn't hit the same. So in order to run this game, I traveled to the other end of the city to a pawn shop that I found out had a copy in this crusty ass case. What followed were some of the most genuinely miserable gaming memories I've had in recent history. I do not like this game. We'll get into it. Maybe it could be attributed to the category I'm running under, which is Story Mode Easy. The story mode of Mario Party 5 has Bowser trying to replace the dreams of others with his own. I don't know how he's doing this or why it's important, and I don't care. You have to play 4 modified versions of randomly selected boards from party mode against Red Koopa Kid, Green Koopa Kid, and Blue Koopa Kid. Afterwards, you play on a predetermined board and end by facing off against Bowser. The only minigames that are played are 1v3s and 2v2s that are triggered by landing on a versus space, and duels that can be triggered by doing the same or crossing paths with a Koopa Kid. You're trying to reduce their coin counts to 0, and I'll leave a list of ways to do that on screen because it seems really annoying to verbally explain every little detail. The current world record for this run is a 43:09 by Sam Leaptrot, and leaderboard standings make me think that getting faster than a 1:14:11 should be achievable. In Dream 1, I knocked out my first Koopa Kid in just under 5 minutes, which had me feeling really good, and a few lucky board plays allowed me to knock the other two off in a single 2v2 minigame, which, let's be honest, there's not a single thought going through your head when you're playing this bullshit. Dream 2 was going at a bit of a slower pace, and just under 26 minutes into the first run, we had a bit of a bigger oopsie. I had the AV cable for the Wii in an adapter, and that was plugged into my computer, and it was at my feet, and my tootsies were rumming. Game capture was no longer showing up in OBS, so I had to call the run there and start fresh, which went...
Wait, what? He just got more confetti than I did, so he wins? I saw the demo. The demo had an anvil. If I didn't get crushed by an anvil, I think I win too.
Are you... Oh, I wasn't paying attention.
Daisy, quick! What do his balls smell like?
Like you'd expect. Dream 2 introduced me to the toxicity of Wampa Maze, which I think was the culprit that sowed the seeds of my hatred for this game's minigames. We'll get into it. Some of the minigames feel like they should be consistently won, like Rumble Ready, Controller Rumble, you press A. But then you get minigames like Sky Survivor, and a Koopa Kid is just driving like it's a Suburban on the highway. I want to get away from you, but you take up so much of my vision, I don't know if it's safe. Eventually, Dream 2 ends with another win in a 2v2, and Dream 3 gets swept up super fast afterwards. Dream 4 would have gone just as quickly, but the minigame that could have gotten me out with an extra 3 minutes to spare was RNG and totally whack. I came around to the predetermined map Bowser Nightmare, where nothing really of note happened, which led to Frightmare, the showdown against Bowser. The fight as a whole is a bit of a guessing game on what to do the first time. I was going through the motions of figuring out how to progress through the fight, and when it came time to fight him face to face, I got posted up on big time. After all this in the arena, phase 2 starts and Bowser drinks that inflation juice. I die again. He sucks back the juice again, and I throw enough shiny orbs at him to finish the run with a 1:24:14. My next run was going fine for the first two dreams. Dream 1 had me red 1 minute and 16 seconds, and even though I hard threw shock absorbers during Dream 2, I still ended it with 10 seconds green. Dream 3, however, was played on one of the largest maps, had more RNG not in my favor. Koopa Kids kept teleporting to different parts of the map. They were putting down orbs as far away as possible, recollecting coins on blue spaces, more RNG not in my favor. I was 6 minutes and 52 seconds red, and decided to leave my next run for the next day. Hey, sorry, would you be able to get that for me? Yeah. Once again, I have good news and bad news. The good news is that day 7 was my worst day of Mario Party 5, so it's all uphill from here. The bad news is that this was not for your entertainment, and my mental well-being was severely compromised for about half a week afterwards. So the first run starts, we're playing, passing the puck around. We're having a good time. Well, I wasn't, they were. They were farming coins real good, and I figured it was early enough in the run that a reset wouldn't hurt too bad. Second run didn't make it off the first board either. I managed to knock green and red, and I had blue whittled down to just 6 coins, but it stayed behind me and started farming coins, eventually catching up to me to trigger a minute-long minigame that wouldn't have me finishing the dream in time to get to the next one with time saved up. We reset here too. Run 3 was so good. So good. Nothing of note really happened during Dream 1. And I ended with a beautiful 4 minutes and 31 seconds green. I sniped blue both on the board and in the air to knock it super quick, and a few 2v2 minigames against green and red took them out not too long after, giving me over 7 minutes to play around with. And I could have maintained that momentum at the end of Dream 3, but lost the game of where does the strategy begin, Mario Party 5, when you've involuntarily blinded me to the key to my goals? I still closed off with 2 minutes and 4 seconds green. What came next was my first exposure to the seemingly worst map you can get in this run. Listen, I love a good pirate as much as the next guy. There shouldn't be all this land. It should just be the open sea, pacing around these 6 same spaces for all of eternity, while the boys are singing shanties on the bottom deck. Now that's the dream right there. I kept the momentum up here too, ending with 1 minute and 34 seconds green, but threw pretty hard during shock absorbers. Bowser Nightmare was going really well too, with me having knocked both green and red pretty quickly and had blue on single-digit coins, and then we started chasing each other but never catching up to one another until it had gotten up to 23 coins just from landing on blue spaces. I finally caught up to it and lost against it in Get a Rope, a game that to this point I have played times and never won. It recollects a few more coins, and then I lose in Wamp Maze. We're getting into it!
Oh, I just hate this game. Oh,
Listen. I know it's really easy to be bitter about a game as a whole because I'm looking at a single game mode under a microscope, but I think it's so whack that there are as many compounding variables as there are that affect the play of this game in one game mode. Like if the momentum of gameplay is staggered by elements that are uncontrollable through the gameplay are as prominent as they are here, that's not good. The maps are random. You have no resources to affect dice rolls to help you achieve the goals the game sets out for you. Half the minigames you play feel RNG dependent to some degree, and all of this could be excused. You could rationalize this by saying, well, they didn't design the game around speedrunning, but they give you a letter grade based on how quickly you beat the board. They incentivize quick play! And playing 2v2s? I don't want to dwell on this day much longer, so I'm just going to jump ahead to the 5th and final run of this day. Dream 1? The best it's ever been. 10 minutes and 54 seconds green. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling sexy. I played Peace Out and Lost for the first time in a buzzer beater performance by Blue K Kid. I'm already pissed. And then we played Clock Stoppers, and this short guy with his short fucking legs can't push a clock arm fast enough. And that was the final straw. I was mentally checked out after that and couldn't keep playing. Could you take care of that? I think sleeping on it helped me get into a better mindset, and I came into the day a lot more optimistic and looking forward to giving Mario Party 5 another shot. Was I the problem the whole time? Dream 1 was pretty uneventful overall, but I was thankfully able to knock everyone in a good pace, and then Dream 2 I'm not sure could have gone any better. I started off by winning Get a Rope for the first time, then won Shock Absorbers, then won Button Mashers, knocking red, then won Shy Guy Showdown, knocking green, then won Bound of Music, knocking blue. I won the entire board in one turn, putting me at an incredible 18 minutes and 28 seconds green. The luck didn't carry over too well into Dream 3. I started off by back-to-back losing some of my least favorite Duel minigames, putting salt in that wound. There was a lot of warping happening, which is a problem because these maps having multiple paths means that there's typically a path that goes around the perimeter of the board and one that kind of circles one side. I had been finding it useful to stick to the shorter of the two because the Koopa Kids automatically follow you on whichever path you're on. They don't think about intercepting you where the paths meet or anything, and whatever function was going on over there must have been pretty great because they just kept going over there. With another Peace Out loss, my time save was quickly dwindling away, causing me to tilt so hard it threw my model out of alignment. We still ended 5 minutes and 20 seconds green, and Dream 4 ended up being an amalgamation of the best and worst parts of my run so far. I knocked blue and green within 3 minutes of being on the board, and then red kept collecting coins, and we kept warping around, and I would start catching up, and then it would warp behind me. I'm not gonna get mad at it. It's just a kid. It doesn't realize it's being annoying. And why do you have your kids doing your dirty work anyways? They shouldn't be on the board collecting coins. They should be playing with Bionicles or something. Finishing off 5 minutes and 12 seconds green. Bowser Nightmare. You ever see a bald guy with a really fresh shave? He knows what he's doing clearly, and you can't help but go, "Ooh, now that's smooth." Bowser Nightmare in 10 minutes, bitch. Don't talk to me. Nightmare, we have arrived. My second run to even make it this far. Strapped with 7 minutes of time save, I'm feeling gooder. I'm feeling sexier. Phase 1 and 2 are no worries, but Phase 3, this dude just would not cooperate with me. Bowser has to butt slam the same spot 3 times before he can move on to the final phase, but he was doing everything in his power to not. I spent over a minute and a half getting flamed, headbutted, flexed on, the whole 9 yards, really. He finally hits the right spot, and now, with my goal in sight and 1 hit left on the big man... I'll be back. I'm gonna pee. I just had to beat a 114.11, right? My bladder was killing me, and honestly, it felt kind of poetic. Like I was flushing the game out of my system. I ended up with a 113.59 and enough store credit to buy a copy of Super Mario 64 from the pawn shop when I returned this piece of shit. I don't own it anymore, and I hope that never changes. Yeah, I don't know why I started doing that. It just seemed like a bad idea. So where do we go from here? I've played 3 Mario Party iterations by this point, and ideas were running thin. So I thought it might be a good idea to return to where we started and play Mario Party 1 again, but throw in a little twist. I wanted to see how transferable my abilities were on different hardware. So this time we're running Minigame Island any % on emulator. It may not sound that different, but the change in hardware fixes latency issues and chugging in games like Handcar Havoc that make them go by much faster. As a comparison, that 3609 world record in the Nintendo 64 category gets blown out of the water on emulator by over 2 minutes. As for myself, having less time to reach the target than before, I decided to aim for a slower time and go for faster than a 43:12. Here's a spoiler, that didn't happen. I start my first run and lose Piranha Pursuit. Whatever, fine. It's happened before, I'm not too mad about it. We reset and try again. Second run, I lose Memory Match. Now I'm embarrassed having lost to a 3x3 grid to the 2 viewers in my Twitch chat, so I'll never recover from that. Run 3 starts, and we make it through to Tug-O-War, and something I've been noticing on emulator is that, and I don't know if this is the emulator itself or my DualShock 4, but rotating minigames are not cooperating with me. What would normally take me 4 seconds took me over 19, but we advance anyway, we're trying to get a run in. Ghost guess? First try, baby, I'm feeling lucky, I'm feeling good. No, I'm not, because we're back at another rotating minigame, Pedal Power. Pedal Power, which I never lost on N64. I lost 3 times here. But we're trying to get a run in. We continue. Pipe Maze is a usual suspect. I'm not surprised about losing that. But Mario Bandstand?
Honestly, should never be lost even if you're only paying half attention.
3 times I lost this. I rage reset and conclude that the problem must be that I've had my controller wireless the whole time, and a wired connection would solve my problems.
Is it gonna make that much of a difference? When I'm playing Atelier Ryza, I don't notice any input problems. That's all I'm saying.
I start up the 4th run, I lost Paddle Battle, my Z inputs were not going through, and I lost Tug-O-War 5 times. I was beyond overrunning for the day, and decided to call it there. At this point, I was at a bit of a loss. I got all the goals I sought out for in such a short time that it felt as though there was nowhere for me to go. Except there was. See, my Mario Party Superstars run got verified pretty quickly on Speedrun.com. When I submitted my run, another brand new runner also submitted theirs at the same time and got quite a bit faster than me, so I didn't technically get the position on the leaderboard I originally sought out. I took this as a good enough excuse to commit to the 10 days I gave myself and decided that it was time to boot up my Switch again. All the same rules, but this time I'm trying to get faster than a 2:42:29. Peach's birthday cake was pretty uneventful. I'd say the most notable thing that happened was that it took me 7 turns to travel 23 spaces to get my first star, which I'll blame on Daisy's choice of footwear on icing. I'd have gone for snowshoes, personally. We end the board with 27 seconds red and go from frosted cakes to frosted briefs. Halfway through Horrorland, Luigi gets a free golden pipe while also having a chomp call and a double star card in his inventory. At this point, I'm actually worried too, because I haven't really been winning minigames and I don't have a very big lead on the opposition. But thankfully, a duel against Birdo gives me the capital I need to solidify some bonus stars, and despite Mario's efforts to keep it away from me, I was able to grab a star on the board before it was all said and done, ending 2 minutes and 28 seconds green.
Fweet, fweet. Fweet, fweet.
Woody Woods came and went. I kept a pretty aggressive lead, and on the last turn, Birdo bought a star only to lose it on a Bowser space, and I think that's pretty funny. Woody Woods keeps up the pace with 1 minute and 57 seconds green. Yoshi's Tropical Island got a little heated this time around, and in the back half of our time here, Mario actually had a pretty solid lead, having 2 stars on him and being the most qualified for the coin star, but his time on top is about as short-lived as a joke about him being short I'm not smart enough to write. I got every bonus star and ended the board with 6 minutes and 32 seconds green, and suddenly, the new goal seemed like an easy accomplishment. Seemed is a very strong word. I'm cruising through Spaceland. I'm the goodest. I'm the sexiest. I'm fighting for my life trying not to get caught by Sniffit Patrol for the 4th time so I can finally get off the beginning strip and we make it halfway through the board. Luigi is in the lead on coins and is currently breathing down my neck for the minigame star. I'm feeling bad. I'm feeling sweaty. I took the coin lead by a little and got lucky finding a hidden block with a star in it, but didn't feel like I was out of the water yet. And on turn 8, Birdo lands on a versus space. 30 coins from everyone. A 120 coin jackpot. This would decide the fate of the run. And the minigame we played was...
Finish!
I gotta ham it up, but at the end of the day, they're still easy computers. There it was. With that, my win was solidified and a final time of 2:42:10 was achieved. So that's it. After 10 days, I've comfortably achieved my Mario Party goals and officially have a way of measuring my worldwide standing in one of the most important games from my childhood and the entries that precede it. So thank you for joining me as I became the 69th best Mario Party player in the world. I did that last Superstars run too quickly and had to wait around for almost 6 minutes to get this position. I'm not even 69th in any of these anymore, but I was at one point in March, and that's all that matters to me. Have a good night, everyone. Get home safe.